No! The pony! What's up, everybody? This is Zoya, the Russian Korean. And I know it's been a really long time since I did my last Explore the Lore episode. I mean, a strict Explore the Lore episode where I actually looked at a region or a particular champion and explored their lore in a little more depth. The last one I did, I believe, was about Freljord, and that was maybe like 3 weeks ago, but anyway, usually when I make videos, the things that are new, they kind of take priority for me. And so, yeah, a lot of new things have been coming out recently. I mean, just like what, yesterday, Samira was released. So if you are watching this a lot later, you will know that I was recording this when Samira was released. But another good thing is that, you know, it gives time for writers to make some timely updates. And I believe this time there actually was one, and that was for Targon. And that is actually the region that we are going to be exploring today. Now with Targon, there is this thing, okay, that, and I mean, now it's kind of with every region, but there is League of Legends, and then there is Legends of Runeterra, right? And obviously they're, in terms of lore, they are connected to each other and they complement each other. And so for me to explore the lore a little more holistically, I need to also consider things that are happening in Legends of Runeterra, not just, you know, League of Legends. So I'm gonna try to do my best with that today, but if there is information from Legends of Runeterra that is not on the League website, then, you know, we will try to discover it. And if I miss anything, then please do let me know in the comments. I will be happy to know. So for those of you who have watched my Explore the Lore videos before, you know the drill. We are going to go on the universe website and explore the lore there. But for those of you who are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on future videos. Alrighty, so let's visit the universe page and see what Targon's all about. Alright, here we are. I guess Samira's bio has been added. It's pretty cool, but that's not what we're looking at today. We are, sorry. We're gonna go into regions, not champions, and we are going to Targon. Oh, okay, so already I am liking this. I just love the lighting here. The sands kind of, or whatever it is, the little rocks falling down from here. You can see some detail. Yeah, you can see it falling on the foreground and then a little bit more in the background. I think this just looks really cool. And this also reminds me of a moment from the music video Rise, where the guy is running across these rocks and there are these statues, you know, of different champs and stuff like that. I remember watching that for the first time, by the way. If you haven't seen that, you can check it out. I also just personally love rocks and mountains. I'm not really much of a climber or a hiker myself, but I just like looking at them. But how about we read the description here, the general description of the region. Targon. To better understand Runeterra, one might start in the western highlands of Shurima, where legends of the world's creation often begin. Like any place of myth, the land of Targon is a beacon to dreamers, pilgrims, and seekers of truth and enlightenment, such as the hardy tribes of the Rakor, or Rakor, who call the mountains home. Mount Targon itself is the mightiest peak in Runeterra, a towering pinnacle of twisted, sun-baked rock that seems to reach ever upward toward the stars. For millennia, mortals have been drawn to climb Mount Targon, even though they cannot always explain why, and the ascent is known to be all but impossible. Very short. I kind of expected a little more, but this is good. This is good. I'm liking this already. We're getting this otherworldly feel here. And here we are with the champions of Targon. That's it? That's it? I think this is not updated because isn't Aphelios from Targon? Right? He's a Lunari, so I'm assuming he's from Targon. I know some things about the region already, so it's not like I'm going into this like a completely blank slate. Of course, like I play Soraka, so, you know, and I play Zoe, and I've played Aphelios, so, you know, like those things, I know them, and I know that Aphelios is supposed to be here, but he is not. So I guess this has not been updated, which is kind of sad. But here are the champs that are here, and those are Leona, Diana, Soraka, Pantheon, Zoe, Aurelion Sol, and Tarek. Well, let's keep moving. There are, of course, like there is a related story here, right? Which is for Aphelios, but the champion is not listed. Come on, guys. Come on. For those of you watching an Explore the Lore video of mine for the first time, you will probably wonder, am I gonna read all these stories? And the answer is, unfortunately, no. In this video, this is just an overview of the region in general, and then usually the stories are related to specific champs, and that's kind of what I'm planning to do in the future, is kind of a bigger project in mind that I have, which is going through every single champion and looking at their lore, and which means also reading their stories. So yeah, the stories are for other videos, but today we are just looking at the artwork and the feel of the region in general. Okay, so let's go back here. Some images, let's check them out. Ooh, home of the Rakor, or Racker. I'm gonna say Rakor, okay? I feel like that's a more intuitive pronunciation for me, but you know, you can say whatever you want, it's fine. Targon is a sprawling mountainous region whose people are both resourceful and devout. For thousands of years, the migratory Rakor tribes have chiseled markets, seasonal homes, and ceremonial chambers into the very mountains themselves. So people do live here, you know, but they're not just your average people. Just look at them. They don't look average. And I was actually gonna say, when I was looking at the image on the banner, is that it kind of looks chiseled. It looks like people have done something here. It doesn't look wild, you know, because there are patterns here and stuff. I mean, assuming that Targon is this kind of mysterious place where maybe nature just looks like that by itself. But, you know, now that I've read the description, it makes more sense that, you know, people have done things to these rocks. Around the mountain. For the Rakor who choose to dwell closest to Mount Targon, life is an unending pilgrimage. Following the sun as the seasons change, they migrate between the solstices to remain in its heavenly light all year round. Would you want to live in a cave like that? I'm not sure if I would, to be honest. It looks very desolate. Of course, there's this glimmer of fire, I guess, inside, but you can see that there's snow and stuff, so I don't know. The Vaulted Road. Isn't that the title of the most, not the most recent, but one of the most recent Legends of Runeterra cinematics, where Diana and Leona watch this couple ascend. The oldest paths through the mountains are marked by ancient gateways of glittering metal, the largest of which have come to mark the end of each phase of the Rakor's migration. They celebrate the moment they cross each threshold, before continuing under the sun's bright path. I like the lack of detail here. Like, you can see that these are figures, but they almost look like ghosts because they've just been like very lightly brushed into this picture. So the accent is really on the architecture here, and I guess, and the atmosphere rather than the people themselves. 4 seasons. In the low-lying valleys, the Rakor can easily hunt and forage, grow crops, and tend their herds. During spring and summer in particular, the local flora and fauna are known to thrive even at higher altitudes. Okay, so that just lets me know that this area, you know, of course is inhabitable because the people live here. I mean, duh. But like the fact that, you know, they have everything available to them, I think is pretty nice. Looks like some highlands of Europe or something, blended with a little bit of Grand Canyon and like Mount Everest or something. Unnatural formations. For the shepherds leading their flocks to graze on the mountain slopes, it is sometimes easy to overlook the strange patterns that seem to flow outward through the rock from Mount Targon. To the ancient Targonians, these patterns were proof that the mountain itself was forged by divine intelligences. Ah, so, okay, there are some things that are carved out by humans, but other things are just natural themselves, like these patterns here, you know, the waves on the rock side, on the cliff side, signs of intelligent design, you know what I mean? And this is the picture that we saw on the cover, written in stone. Some Rakor now believe these otherworldly shapes were once part of a great map, depicting unknown realms beyond the heavens. Others say the markings warn of terrible war that will one day ravage the entire world, setting brother against brother. Despite such wild speculation, the true origin and purpose of these patterns remains a mystery to all. Okay, so I'm back to square one. At first I thought, okay, this is probably humans, you know, carving this out, then it might be nature, and then there's all this speculation, well, maybe it's both, well, maybe it's not. And yeah, but we have the added detail of people here standing. You can kind of get a reference here for the size of these. Eternal winter of the mountaintops. Among the tallest peaks, bitter winds and perilous snows overcome the seasons, creating an everlasting winter. This unnatural landscape is perilous to any stray wanderers, with plants and animals becoming rare sights indeed. This kind of gives me Zelda Breath of the Wild vibes a little bit. You know, Breath of the Wild is one of my favorite games, and so like the landscape that reminds me here of one of the regions. I forget exactly what the region was called, but it's like very snowy there, and the bird people live there. Mount Targon. Okay, we have few more images. Everything looks really fantastical, especially this one. Whoa, what is this? Once in a lifetime, the skies around Mount Targon shimmer with celestial majesty, the radiance of sun and moon alike, fiery comets streaking the darkness, and constellations of stars that can be seen from nowhere else on Runeterra. The Recore have long held all of these to be aspects of great and unknowable stellar beings, powerful and ancient on a scale beyond mortal imagining. Indeed, once every few generations, one of these aspects may descend from the mountain within the body of a climber they have deemed worthy. Such an occurrence is the stuff of legend, and it is likely that these divine creatures shaped the destiny of the world in ages past. So we have this really, really tall mountain that people who live in this area have mythologized, and supposed to be, I guess, a link between heaven and earth. You know what I mean? This is actually frameable. Life on the edge. While many Recore are content merely to live out their days on the lower reaches of Mount Targon, pilgrims from lands near and far may find themselves drawn here, joining the seasonal migration. And the bravest or most foolhardy may even dare the perilous climb to the mountain's peak. These actually remind me a little bit of Shurima. Maybe it's the drapery. So from this description, you get an idea of what kind of people come or live in Targon. There are people who, just survive there, they live there, they deem this land their home, and they don't really venture out into the dangerous unknown of the region. But then there are people, both residents and pilgrims alike, who actually come there to experience the unknown, to dare to try and to, climb these mountaintops and find out the mysteries for themselves. And you kind of get this feel of the people who live there. The farewell. In a sacred farewell ceremony before climbing the mountain, those beginning their ascent are celebrated. This day marks the moment when the fate of their souls is placed into the hands of Targon. Most will likely never be seen again. Wasn't this also in the cinematic? I kind of wonder now which champions are Ascend and which ones are not. Journey up the mountain. Leaving the bonds of Runeterra far behind, some climbers say Mount Targon seems to expand and contract beneath them, as if the rock itself were alive. This has always made it impossible to map any reliable path to the summit. Each climb is different, with some taking many months, and others apparently only a single day. Yeah, that's actually a question that I had. If for so many years people have attempted to climb this mountain, would you think that there are some sort of maps, some sort of guides? Wouldn't you make some sort of, a tourist attraction? I mean, of course they're not going to make out of that because it's like this sacred place for them. But still, I was wondering if there are any maps or anything like that. But if the landscape constantly keeps shifting, it makes sense that there's no such thing. And every time a person tries to, climb or ascend, I guess it's going to be their own unique adventure. A true test. Unforgiving to even the most adept climbers, the upper reaches of Mount Targon are plagued by frigid winds, arctic storms, and frequent avalanches. The thin air makes every breath laborious and painful, and those who survive the climb often describe countless bitter nights spent sheltering from the unrelenting cold. Okay, so we see some commonalities with Freljord. By the way, look at this. This almost looks like a stairway, but yo, this would be so scary. Like, if you were trying to go up, like this person right here is, I guess, trying to climb up. Oh, I don't know. Any of you mountain climbers out there? Let me know what you think. Patterns of the dead. Climbers sometimes think to start out in groups to assist one another on the way, since when one is exhausted or hurt, there is no hope of rescue from below. The bodies of the dead do not tend to decay at such heights, but seem to gradually meld with the rock, becoming twisted into the circular patterns and ridges of the mountain. That's kind of disturbing. Like, imagine you're one of the climbers later on and then you're climbing and basically the little alcoves and the bulges that you're stepping on and grabbing onto are actually people who didn't make it before you. Otherworldly perils. Wow. I really like this image. Is this water? What is this? However, the most dangerous thing about Mount Targon is not the incredible altitude, but the way in which it challenges the very character of each climber. The Recore regard the ascent as a trial of an aspirant spirit, as the inevitable solitude becomes unendurable and they suffer maddening, distracting visions of other times, places, and personal regrets. Okay, so here's what I like about this. I like the accent on the personal quest. A lone sojourner trying to reach new heights, to discover truth, to find their destiny. It makes me think of something that Ravi Zacharias, who was a really deep Christian thinker. He passed away, unfortunately, this year. But something that he says is that I'm gonna butcher how he said it, but he said the single most pointed pursuit of the new generation is the pursuit of meaning. What am I here for? Where am I going? Is there anything beyond this life? And I think this, Mount Targon and, the concept behind it is a perfect kind of artistic, creative expression of that desire, of that pursuit of a higher purpose and meaning in life. And personally, I'm just a fan of when artwork makes me think of something beyond, beyond just the surface appearance, and something that truly resonates with not just my experience, but also with my worldview. So probably this image so far is my favorite. And let's look at the last one in this series, Reaching the Summit. In the rare event that a mortal reaches Targon's peak, the heavens open before them in a dazzling display of cosmic aurora. Few ever bear witness to that radiant sight, far above the cloud line and beneath the glittering stars, where it is said that timeless, godlike beings dwell in a wondrous city of gold and silver. So again, what I like about this image is that the person here is very kind of washed out. You don't really get to see them personally, because actually this is not about them. This is about the greater thing that is happening around them and that they've reached. Awesome. Okay, now we're getting to the juicy part, the people of Targon. I just scrolled all the way down. This is actually pretty nice. There are plenty of images here, and I think most of them have descriptions, so cool. Carved into the mountain. Generations of the Record have chiseled markets, homes, bridges, and ceremonial chambers using the existing shapes of the rock to guide them. Protected from snowfall and storms, such dwellings can be surprisingly comfortable, though never extravagant. I like that. Actually, it looks like a nice place to live. Looks pretty peaceful, I would say, mostly, but you never know. I'm sure there is some sort of conflict going on here, and we'll probably find out. The Record. A name thought to mean the tribe of the last sun, the Record tribes boast many skilled artisans, craftspeople, and merchants. However, they tend to value a simple life of humility and prayer to the heavens. I sense some medieval inspiration here. And this is a warrior. Looks a little bit like Leona's getup. Oh yeah, totally medieval. Like, Look at, I think this is a cut and paste guy. Life among the tribes. The Record have endured the trials of their mountainous homelands for millennia, and often make such a life look relatively easy. In truth, they're always vigilant against danger from above or below. Okay, so I was fooled, okay? Life is not easy, folks, in Targon, okay? This is not a place to take your vacation in. The warriors. The Record do not seek war with others, but nonetheless maintain highly skilled militias among all the tribes and outlying settlements. It is said to be almost impossible to surprise a Record force in battle on their own lands. Interesting. I don't even quite understand what this kind of weapon is, but okay. Notice also the lackluster colors in their clothing. There's nothing flashy. Well, maybe except this yellow. The yellow detail in this very fashionable guy's cloak. But overall, just like the region, very, minimalistic, brutal. There's no showing off here for these people. On the other hand, the Solari. While nearly all Record worship the sun, those who completely devote their lives to it are known as the Solari. As a dominant religious sect on Mount Targon, they believe the sun is the source of all life. All other light sources are false and a threat to the future of their people. Disciples are guided in the strictures of their faith by temple priests, who preach that if the sun was ever to fade, the world would be swallowed by darkness. Accordingly, the Solari stand ready to fight any who would extinguish its holy light. Okay, so that explains the yellows and the oranges here. I believe this guy is also copy and paste. Okay, so Leona isn't she like the leader of the Solari? But let's keep going. Temple of the Solstice. The entrance to the Solari Temple on the eastern slopes of Mount Targon is carved from gold-veined marble. During times of strife, a priest or scribe might meditate in an outer sanctum for weeks without food or water, subsisting merely on the divine sustenance provided to them by the sun. Interesting rock structures, look a little bit like paper almost. But yet again, this just gives us an idea of what their religion, I guess, is all about. Just worship the sun. Just worship it. Okay. That's all you do. Solari Prayer Shrine. In the sacred Sun Ward Temple, the worthiest warriors among the Rakor seek a place in the Ra Horak, the elite militant order of the Solari priesthood. This particular shrine was constructed to align with major recurring celestial events, each one framed perfectly by a carefully placed aperture. So once again, inspiration taken from a lot of the, I guess, religious movements that worship the sun, especially in the past. And we are getting a stark contrast to the Solari, which are the Lunari. Branded by the Solari as heretics, the Lunari worship the silvery light of the moon. They practice their beliefs in secret, hiding from those who seek to rid Targon of their influence forever, even though some claim that, long ago, the two groups lived in peace, worshipping the heavens as one people. So the Solari are the more dominant ones, and the Lunari are, I guess, like the minority here. They both kind of worship the same thing. They both worship the celestial forms, I guess. So the conflict here, I think, is quite simple in a way. I mean, they've grown apart so much that they've become enemies, even though they shared a common past. And just the amount of contrast between them just creates this gap between the two groups that makes it even harder, I guess, for them to kind of get back together, I guess. Though it will do nothing to bring back the countless Lunari slain by Solari over the years, it seems the balance of power in Targon may be shifting, as rumors abound that the aspect of the moon has taken mortal form once more. And who is that person? Is it Diana by any chance? Okay, so we're getting a fuller picture now of the life, I guess, in Targon. So let's look at some of the details here that are provided. The pilgrim's life. During their migrations, the tribes of Targon try to carry as few material objects as possible. Tethered pulley systems are used to transport essential belongings up and down the steep slopes, while heavier tools and equipment are stored in shelters around the mountain and repaired or remade as needed. Climbing gear. Even young children of the Rakor are trained to use hooks and picks, which are essential for survival in the mountains. So everybody at Targon is a hiker. It's just like at my hometown, everybody is a fisherman. Everyone loves to fish or has some part of their life related to fishing. Religious items. Holding fragrant incense and the extracts of certain rare herbs and plants, these stone-carved offering bowls are used frequently in religious rites. Now the question is this the Solari ones, the Lunari ones, or both? Zenith Array. Astronomers and astromancers across Targon meticulously track the sun, moon, and stars, hoping to reveal the will of the aspects and hasten their coming to this world. Astromancers. Is that like necromancers? But astromancers? Golden astrolabe. It's getting weirder and weirder. Solari priests keep an even more watchful eye on the heavens, using astrolabes to predict future events by measuring the movement of specific celestial bodies. Arms of the Ra Horak. Solari weaponsmiths craft ornate gilded blades to reflect the divine light of the sun, and these are almost always carried prominently and visibly outside a holy warrior's armor. These are some of the details that we also see on Leona's armor, a very signature look. Forbidden weapons. Conversely, Lunari weapons tend to be elegant and easily concealed, sometimes crafted from iridescent moonstone. Quite pretty. You can see shades of green and pink here as well. So it's like, it gives you an idea of how, I guess, glowy it is. Looks like Diana's scimitar, you know? Alrighty. And the last part that we have here is Targonian wildlife. Beasts of the mountains. The various species native to Targon are uniquely primed to survive under the coldest weather conditions, with thick layers of fat and woolly furs to insulate from bitter winds and snow. Cloven hooves provide support on steep slopes and narrow footholds, while hooked claws easily latch onto ice. This animal is quite interesting. The lion sheep? Not sure. I also like the, the scars, I guess, or these lines that are on top of this bison-looking creature. Gives you an idea of its tough hide. Oh, that's what it is. Ibik. So here's a size reference. It's ginormous. Ibik are rare solitary herbivores from the lower plains of Targon. Okay, good thing they're herbivores. Where their sweet, fatty milk is considered a delicacy. During its annual hibernation, an ibix's rough, slate-colored skin can help disguise it among the boulders, and they often end up completely covered by the winter snowfall. That's a lot of meat, I gotta say. Tamu. Flocks of tamu are raised by the rakur. Their lush coats are sheared twice yearly and woven into warm clothing and other textiles. So yeah, they are kind of like sheep. But the main here, the main bolor. Famous for the trilling cry it emits before swooping for a kill, the predatory bolor moves in long gliding leaps along thermal currents with aerodynamic feathered limbs and loves to prey on stray tamu. They're pretty big too. I'd say that's quite scary if a thing like that is just like flying in the sky. Also the claws here. They're all over the place. Like, make a decision. Are you going this way or that way or... But I guess whatever works in this unforgiving region. And that is it for the universe page. Now, there was a new cinematic recently released for Legends of Runeterra because they added Targon to the cards, to the card sets, I guess. And so I wanted to watch that here today. Just to see. Now, once again, I have done a react to Tales of Runeterra Mount Targon, the Vaulted Road cinematic, so you can check it out in the Explore the Lore playlist. But today we are looking at Call of the Mountain launch trailer, new expansion and region, Legends of Runeterra. That one came out 6 days ago. It's 3 minutes and 16 seconds long, so it's probably some sort of cinematic, so let's check it out and see if it offers us any new perspective on the region of Targon. Ooh. Purple girl? Or blue girl? With horns. Oh, she saw a little unicorn. Pegasus. Descend from the sky. And this is the peak. Is she trying to ascend? Or she lives here? She actually, the way that she looks, you know, she has hooves and horns and her skin's kind of purple. She looks like Soraka. So maybe she is a young Soraka or something. Or maybe she is from the same people group as Soraka. I don't know. I don't know too much about Soraka, just how she looks like. Looks like a Solari temple. Oh. Leona. Diana. They're here to fight. They're not here to make friends and meet ponies. What is this girl gonna do? And she just left them fighting. Okay. Tariq! Okay, so she looks like she's on a journey to ascension, possibly? Oh, the pony. Whoa. No! The pony! The pony has wings, though. Wait. Seriously? Oh, no. Oh. What is this Avatar vibe I'm getting? So the one who needed help was not the pony, it was the girl. Okay, so who is the pony now? Some really mythical creatures here. And Aurelian soul. Okay. So we got a full look here at all the different aspects of Targon. You know, the magical lands, the habitable I guess, lowlands, the worldly conflict of Solari and Lunari, a perilous journey to the peak of the mountain, mysterious creatures that reside at its peak, cute glowing ponies, and the peak of the mountain that everyone is striving to reach, and the celestial beings and atmosphere that surround it. Beautiful. Actually, like that this is a very nice kind of all-encompassing cinematic that doesn't really get into too much details of, you know, some of the specifics of the region, but just gives you a broad look at the region, which is what Explore the Lore videos are all about. And I think this will actually mark the end of my exploration of Targon. I'm looking forward to checking out the individual lore of the champions from this region just to see you know, what their stories are and how they further expand my understanding of Targon. But how about you guys? Do you like Targon? Do you main any champions from Targon? Is it your favorite region? What is it about Targon that you like? And another question, this is actually one of the questions that one of the viewers during one of my streams asked, is if you could be a Solari or a Lunari, which one would you be? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. This was Zoya, the Russian Korean. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.